Let's kick Harris out for a sec.
No, leave him in. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the hell you are in the world, and welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel, live with wine. I haven't got a drink. I've not got a drink this time, and you've got two.
I do. I'm going to be needing a wee halfway through.
I did a video yesterday with Mac, and I nearly popped. I nearly had an accident. If ever anybody ever like clips a bunch of videos of me going at the end of lines. Dave is in the house. Steve is in the house. That was from me. And Sarah, hi guys. How are we all doing? Right, we are live. It's a bit of a hangout video. It's a bit of a whatever the hell you want video. We are early for Harris, and then he's not here.
He's making ribs for Jenny Stiven.
Yeah.
He met her yesterday, and now all of a sudden he's making her food. Jenny Stiven has adopted Harris.
Yeah. I messaged you a little while ago saying, I hear our young American pounced on you yesterday, or did you pounce on him? And she's literally just messaged me back, I was so happy to see him. I can't wait to meet Jen. She's over here. She's here in the UK next year. We'll have to try and do something.
Is she coming to Basingstoke?
No, she's over here for something. I forget where it was. But she's already said she's going to be up this way. So I said, right, beer. Ken, how you doing, sir? And Laura's in as well. The usual suspects. Right, so we can talk about whatever we want. Anybody wants to get in the comments and tell us what you want to talk about. But I do want to talk about Doctor Who. Because we've had 2 episodes drop now with David Tennant and David Tennant and the Dr. Donna. And you hate it, and I love it, which is weird.
No,
so
no.
I know, sorry, the wrong. I don't hate the episodes, but I didn't love them. First of all, just say right.
I loved the second episode. I liked the first.
Okay, why didn't you love the first episode?
Because nothing happened.
That's fair.
It was a very good episode because we had David Tennant and Donna Noble back.
Yeah.
And they wrapped up the whole Dr. Donna meta crisis thing and saved Donna. Great, but the whole Meep storyline was fine, but it was more like a filler episode kind of thing.
The Meep.
The Meep, yeah.
Not he Meep, the Meep. Yeah.
The Meep, yeah. Just like the Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt, and I talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to go on and on and on about it, but there was a transgender character, and she was amazing. I think she's just a lovely young lady, and I think she's a really good. I've seen her in a couple of interviews. She's had some crap in her life of people shouting things at her. I actually thought the way the nan, Donna Noble's mom, was written, saying sort of like, am I allowed to say she's pretty? I don't really know what to say. I actually thought that was lovely put, because my generation in particular, and older, my nan has no freaking clue about trans. She doesn't know. She doesn't want to offend anyone. She just doesn't understand it. And I'm sort of in the same boat sort of thing. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to thing. I do not give a crap if you want to shave your head and call yourself Susan tomorrow. I don't really care. I just would not quite know how to. You've already done it. I wouldn't quite know how to sort of like broach it, and you'd have to help me through it. And occasionally, I might call you he, and I would ask you not to punch me in the face. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. Please don't kill me. I did have a lady who was transgender who had a go at me once because I used the word they, talking about the gay community, and she exploded. Who's they? What's they? And exploded at me. And I goes, it's a connective. It's a word that means a group of people. I don't know why you're angry at me. And I didn't understand it. And I just thought, but
it is difficult.
I wasn't trying to be offensive.
My latest video, I made that point, that I try to use the appropriate language, but sometimes it is difficult because it's not a world I'm in. I didn't say that exactly, but that's the general point. It's difficult, but you try. As long as you try, I think.
I'm sorry, I don't even try particularly. Like, no, I do try in the sense of I'm of the sense of that I don't want to offend anyone. any culture, race, religion, ethnic. I don't really want to offend anyone. I would quite happily go through my life and not offend anyone. So if you don't do anything personal to me, if you do personal to me, I will attack anything about you. I will call you. You're too tall, bald, bearded, and I will attack anything about. Because if you personally attack me, or actually, it's not even personal attack me. If you personally attack someone I love, I'm not a pleasant person. If you go after somebody I love, to be honest, you can do pretty much whatever you want to me, and I'm just like, well, I don't give a crap.
I'm gonna give you a nuggie when I meet you.
Yeah, and I'd have to admit, I did. I was, I was very offensive towards. He was a gay fella, and I did. I mean, if out of context, it sounded like a hate crime. But he had just been really bitchy to my girlfriend at the time, and I just attacked anything that I thought would upset him. I didn't care that I don't care he's gay and was going to toss, but I just went at him because he'd gone at my girlfriend. So I just attacked him in anything I could throw at, and that's not one of my proudest moments, I will admit. But he'd offended me. So, but anyway, Doctor Who, I just thought they banged the drum a bit too many times about the whole the Doctor Who can be a man or a woman or the whole transgender thing. It's just it wasn't that they made the point. It was they made the point about 6 times, and I was like, by the end of it, I'm just like, yeah, okay. The whole Donna and Rose, and that they were able to share it, and then they basically made that big thing of the Doctor isn't a man, a woman, or a them. It's more than that. I'm like, you've already made this point a few times.
I will admit when they did that line, when Donna goes binary, and then it cuts to Rose saying non-binary, I did wince a little bit.
Yeah,
because I felt like it was a little bit like, obviously I've got no problem with it, but I didn't think it fitted as well as it could. They could have done better.
For me, if they'd have built up to that and that was the big thing, I'd have been okay with that. Individually, I have absolutely no problem with any of the bit with the meep when says, and the Doctor says he, and then Rose jumps on him and says, no, that's the wrong pronoun. You need to check what pronoun he wants to go by. And I'm just like, oh God. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I have no problem with individually with any of those points when they're making a point. I just had a problem when it got to the end of the episode and it was like 8 or 9. It was just like, again, they're making the point again. Come on. That was my only issue. And they've made him gay now. So, and again, don't give a crap.
They haven't made him gay.
A little bit. No, I just thought it was just
because he said that Isaac Newton was an attractive fella.
I just always argue to anybody that says like Doctor Who's a man. I'm like, is he? He's an alien. We don't know what he is. You're putting our tertiary rules onto
his gender is the most fluid thing in the universe. By extension, so what is sexuality? Because we don't actually know what his sexuality is. I mean, we know he must have had a mate at one point because he had Susan as his granddaughter, and then he was with River. But River, being a Time Lord, could effectively become a man at some point, and he became a woman. So, like, what is sexuality for a Time Lord? Like,
it's irrelevant.
They're probably closer to pansexuals, where they like someone for the personality rather than the gender or the sex.
It's a question. Is Russell T Davies though trying to piss people off? Pardon my French. With the people that are annoyed about the woke thing, and like there are people in the woke that shout woke at things a lot, that are racist, sexist, they're bigots, and they use the whole woke argument to basically legitimize their own bigoted behavior. There are people that shout woke that genuinely are just sick to death of being preached at, and they're not, they're not particularly. They might be a little bit racist, but they're not racist. They're not sexist. They're just sick of being preached at. It's like, for me, I don't consider myself. I consider myself quite liberal. I hate the word woke. I hate it. I would say a million times. I'll keep banging that drum. I hate this word. I hate this word. But I didn't like the Doctor Who, and what I didn't like was that Sir Isaac Newton is all of a sudden an Asian fella. Why did they do that? I think there's a big bear with a woke T-shirt on, and Russell T Davies is poking it. Like, come on, come on.
I think you might be right, because he doesn't care what people think. He has a story to tell, and he's going to tell that story. I do think there is some element of truth in that, where he'll basically put things in to annoy people because he knows people will talk about it and therefore make the show more popular. It can backfire though, which we have seen. It can backfire.
Rings of Power. It backfired massively.
Yeah, it can backfire, but I don't know if it's necessarily a conscious thing that he's doing, or if it's just kind of just like, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do this, blah, 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 blah. If anyone talks about it, that's free publicity kind of thing. And it might not be like a conscious, let's piss people off kind of thing, but there might be an element of truth to it somewhere.
I think a lot of executives, because I mean, a lot of people that again are very angry about recently about woke thing. When they gender swap, I want to talk about gender swapping in a minute, because I don't think it's as big a problem as people make out. But they gender swap or they race swap somebody. I think sometimes their executives are doing it because they think, no, it'll get clicks. We're gonna gender swap or race swap this character that's beloved, and people will, and it'll get loads and loads of clicks. I think the whole sheet was trying to do that, and it backfired on them as well.
The reason in that episode, they must. People talk about like diversity quota kind of thing all the time, and I think that is true. There probably is some sort of like diversity quota that they have to meet, the productions that they make.
BBC probably.
But if you think about that episode, without Isaac Newton, the entire cast was David Tennant and Catherine Tate.
Yeah.
So the only other character would have had to have been, if they were meeting these quotas, would have had to have been a person of colour.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah, because it's literally the only other actor in the entire episode, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that might be the reason why they put it in. Because you could take that out and it changes the episode. It doesn't change the episode at all. The only thing it changed in the episode was their definition of, or their pronunciation of gravity.
The gravity joke. Yeah. The gravity joke. Yeah.
But that didn't have to be there. It really didn't have to be there. But
no, I don't.
Maybe there's something that says you have to have more than 3 people in an episode.
There has to be some diversity thing, and the BBC has rules like that. To be fair, the BBC is so, because it's part funded by the government as well. The government sort of insists they do certain things, which is just ridiculous, because we help pay. We pay for it. So the government, some smart ass in a group somewhere will go, yeah, make sure you got at least 20% Asian in each show or something. And it probably happens, or minority, I should say.
So I didn't have an issue with it because
Harris is with us.
Just
I didn't have an issue with Isaac being
what
an Indian.
We did look at him.
I did look at him and go, I'm sure he's meant to be white, but honestly, it made no difference.
Harris,
let me get the camera. Let me get the lights.
Is it mistletoe? Do we need to kiss?
There's going to be a problem because okay. Oh my!
Nice ribs for Jenny right here. Nice. She wanted a honey glaze, so she gets a nice honey glaze on top of it.
I want.
We're gonna see how she likes it. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go toss in the oven real fast.
Okay, sir. Wowza! Oh man, I'm so hungry. What we say? Yeah, I don't know about the BBC with that. Like you said, then I'm like, that just like went what? As soon as they did that, I was just like, as soon as the apple fell, I was like, oh god, that's Isaac Newton. I don't have any problem with race swapping a character. I really don't. If they should do the best actors for a role, and if that's a black guy or a white guy or a purple guy, I don't really care. Or girl, could be a girl. But when it's a historical character, I mean, we've been doing this to Jesus for 2,000 years. We've been making him a white English guy with a beard. Jesus. When I'm pretty sure he'd have a tan at very least, being brought up in the Middle East.
One of the videos I watched from Podcast of the Lotus Eaters, which if any of you watched that, I urge you not to, because they will poison your mind. He made the point of Bill being a black lesbian, and then mentioned some episode where the Victorian people were all black people for whatever reason, and the doctor then goes, "Yeah, but Jesus was black," and then this guy on the Lotus podcast goes, "No, he wasn't. That's factually inaccurate," and I'm like, "No, it's not. He lived in a fucking desert."
You'd have the Middle Eastern isn't. They're not black, are they? They're not.
They're not white, though, are they?
They're not white.
Like, not pale as me. Let's.
No, he's not, and he's not a pale blue color like me either. But yeah, it's exactly it's the point. But I would just say that yeah, we need space Jesus. I just think that I understand having diversity because any production should reflect society, right? So there should be a mix of what that society is. And if you've just got a black or a gay or whatever, as long as it roughly reflects society, I'm all for it. No problem at all. The Rings of Power thing, because it had a black elf, I completely understand where people were annoyed coming from, because they're saying all the elves are supposed to be Nordic. They're supposed to be white, blonde haired. And I'm saying, yeah, but J.R. Tolkien, the whole thing of the Lord of the Rings was about that racism is stupid. Basically, it was about bringing lots of different races together to solve a problem. He was talking about, it was following World War One, I think, and coming together to fight evil. I actually think if J.R. Tolkien was around today, the elves would have been mixed race. They just would have been. So I have no problem with that, because I could see where it would. I could see what they were trying to do. And like Lenny Henry's character, we know they're darker skinned because J.R.R. Tolkien wrote that they're darker skinned than the other thing. So I have no problem with that. But when it's an historical figure, you shouldn't do that. And you can have something from Victoria, England, and have black people in it, and actually it's historically accurate. And you can thank the Romans for it, because people were moved all over from North Africa into Europe and stuff because they were slaves, and some stayed. It is not accurate to say there were no black people in Britain, particularly in London, in say the 15th, 16th century, because there were. It was rare, but there were. So if you're gonna start drumming the historically accurate drum, you better know your history. You know what I mean? You better know that actually what you're saying is accurate, because that it isn't accurate to say there were no black people in Britain 500 years ago, because there were. It was just rare.
I don't think it should be in relation to Doctor Who. This isn't an issue, because it isn't our universe. It's a universe very much like ours, with historical events that happened very much like ours. But there's never been a Dalek invasion of London. There's never been a Cyberman invasion of London.
There was. I saw it on the telly.
No, and like basically, it's like looking at a universe that's like ours. So having slight things different, like Isaac Newton slightly Indian, it doesn't change anything. It's still Isaac Newton. That guy is still playing the Isaac Newton from our universe in that universe. Like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, the color of his skin makes no difference.
I don't quite agree with you, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I didn't pick up my phone and immediately go on Twitter. I just sort of went, oh, Russell T Davies is going to get letters. So I think that's as far as I went.
Honestly, though, that is the only criticism I've seen from that episode.
Yeah,
from the woke brigade.
I actually genuinely didn't particularly like the episode. I thought it was a bit boring. And you're saying about how nothing happened in the first. I didn't think none particularly. It was a bit slow. It went on a bit. I enjoyed it.
It was an hour and 5 minutes. It was the longest episode. One of the longest episodes to date, for sure.
Yeah, David. How big is Harris's house? He's only walked to the oven and back.
He's fallen in.
We've actually got a suspicion that Harris's parents are quite wealthy. and look after him. So, yeah, and from an episode point of view, I thought it was all right. That whole thing with the Asian thing, I just thought they went, why did he do that as much as anything else? Gender swapping characters, though. Right. So I asked on the community page about a week and a half ago or something. Can you give me 10 examples of when they've gender swapped a character? All right. And we got a few. We got loads, because I'm like, I don't think it happens as much as people think. Somebody will throw a comment on saying, oh, we'll have a female whatever character next, and it'll be black gay, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure, but how often does it actually happen? And I think
the only two examples I can think of is Doctor Who, but it makes sense in relation to that character, and then there was Ghostbusters, but it wasn't really gender swapping. That was just different characters,
completely different characters.
They were different characters, yeah.
There's happened a few. Battlestar Galactica had two, Boomer and
I've not seen
Starbuck were both gender swapped. There was a series. Katie Sackhoff worked 100% worked. Both characters 100%. And I saw the writers. And I've said this before, but the writers basically said with Starbuck, this is a boring character. We need to do something different. That character as a woman all of a sudden is interesting. As a bloke, it's just another generic. It's done it, and no one's going to be better than Dirk Benedict anyway. So let's do something different. So there was no agenda to that. It was a story agenda. It was this makes it interesting. David B. Moriarty. Now that was really clever. So in Elementary, they had. I've checked this. I've actually spoken to somebody about this, and he said, "Yeah, you're right." I suspected. So it's a Sherlock Holmes story, right? And they had Joan Watson, and it was Lucy Liu.
This is my Moriarty.
Oh yes, he is the best Moriarty. And I always wondered if they had Lucy Liu contracted to do a series, and they were just like, we need it for something. Okay, we've got the Sherlock Holmes series coming. That'll do. And I spoke to him, and they're like, yeah, that's basically, that was his basic understanding of what happened. They just needed somebody. They weren't particularly bothered about it being a female. They just needed to give Lucy Liu a show because she was contracted to do something. So that was. But then they did it with Moriarty as well. But I actually thought it was really, really clever, because the Sherlock Holmes character has got the love interest of Sherlock Holmes, called I forgot the character's name, the lady, but he's called the lady sometimes. But then what they did, they switched it and made her into Moriarty as well. And I'm just like, well, of course, because it's his arch rival. And then it's somebody that equals his intelligence. And that's why he loved her so much. He loved it. So I always thought that was brilliant the way they did that. I always wish they'd done it a bit more, because we never then really saw her again. But again, it was done really well. Marvel do it quite a lot, to be fair. They gender swap characters quite a lot. But they've, in their comic books, though, don't
they just make female versions of the most popular characters? So you've got Spider-Gwen, you've got She-Hulk, you've got
a lot of the time,
the female Thor. I don't know what her name is, but female Thor.
And they've done female Superman, female Supergirl. They've done.
But they are their own characters, though. Yeah. So it's not really a gender swap.
They sometimes do it like side characters, like in what was it called? Jessica Jones. The lawyer in it is supposed to be a bloke, and it's a woman. And I always think that was because they had oh god, what's her name? She's from The Matrix. Oh,
Carrie Moss.
That I always think they were just like, she's willing to do something. What can we do? She'll be aces this. Let's just do that. It's supposed to be a bloke. That's fine. Carrie Ann Moss is doing it, and nobody cared. I didn't even know, because it's a backup character as well. I didn't know. So I think when they do it to back characters, I think it matters particularly. But main characters, I can't think of many that mattered or that didn't work, that weren't better.
In Marvel?
In anything. Where they've changed the character. The Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, the only one. The only one I can think of.
But that didn't matter that it was a woman. It was just crap.
Are you on about the game show Taskmaster, or is it like a film?
No.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. The villain in Black Widow is Taskmaster.
Not the Greg Davis show.
No, not the Greg Davis show. You wouldn't know about that, young Harris. But I think people are more annoyed about that because the Taskmaster was a brilliant character and they just underused it massively. It just wasn't very good. Didn't matter that it was a woman.
The actors was just fine. They just didn't do the character right.
I think that's the problem with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. She's a fantastic actress. She's a fantastic actress, but she was shit as a doctor. But I don't think it's her fault.
It was bad, right?
Because if she was given proper like character development and actual good storylines, she would have been really good. I mean, saying that, she was really good in Flux. I really enjoyed Flux, and I really enjoyed Power of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But everything else, is forgettable. That's the only word I can describe it as.
I mean, I think Peter Capaldi is a brilliant actor. I absolutely adored him in that thing he did before it in BBC, where he swore constantly in that political show he did.
To think of it.
Yeah, he was amazing in that. So when he was done as the Doctor, I was like, yes, that is an actor. I love that guy. It was crap. I stopped watching it. I watched maybe 3 episodes of Peter Capaldi and I stopped watching it. I was like, this is rubbish.
He actually had character development.
Well, again, they started with he wiped his memory or something, hadn't they? He didn't know who he was or something.
He knew who he was. He just didn't know why he had that face.
Yeah, I know there was some like mental. It was almost like he'd done too many times, hadn't he? He'd merged too many. Changed too many times, and he was like it broke his brain or something.
Well, so he wanted to know why he'd got that face, because the last time he saw it was in the fires of Pompeii, where Donna basically said to him, "You could say you can save someone." I think it was Donna. It might have been Martha. Can't remember. I think it was Donna. Anyway, so you can save someone. So this once he saved someone, and it happened to be that guy played by Peter Capaldi, and then wondered why he was getting that face back. And it's basically because so he, as the Doctor, would learn again that it's okay to save someone every now and then.
David B's just said there, though, that how many times has a man taken over a woman's role? And it happens, but how many times has a woman taken over a man's role? People always point to Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, saying that, look, that's a strong female character. It was written as a man. It was supposed to be a man. And the director basically went, this would work better as a woman. And so they did it. It worked. And in the first, and they still patronized the crap out of her. It's, they made the jokes like, about being a woman, and that they wouldn't have done that the other way. It's still quite patronizing. If I was, if I'm a bloke and I'm in that movie, in Aliens particularly, and Michael BN comes up to me and starts showing me how to use the rifle, I'm shooting that man in the foot. I was like, don't patronize me, you little shit. I didn't ask you to show me how this works. But he did, because and they made a point of that. Then she just goes, do it, and sort of thing. And but it was still quite patronising, a bit weird. But I did need to say a guy in a skimpy dress anyway. we don't need that.
Jim's just made a very good point. The gender swap worked perfectly for the Master, Missy. It did.
That was fantastic. Missy was great.
Michelle Gomez is like.
She was really good.
I absolutely love her. Well, she's scary, but it's funny as fuck.
Pointy features, isn't she? She's marvelous. But yeah, I like that as well because they built it up, didn't they? We didn't know who this character was, and she was insane. And then went, "It's the Master." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's so good." It was done really, really well.
Well, I couldn't very well go calling myself the Master now, could I?
The Mistress. So what do you think about this storyline? Because you probably know better than me, because I've not watched Doctor Who for years. I've watched these 2 episodes and that's it. This whole storyline that he's not a Gallifreyan, the Doctor?
Yeah. So,
what's that coming from?
Yeah, Chris Chibnall decided to... everyone hates this. Absolutely everyone hates this. Doctor Who fans, woke people, everyone hates this because it's shit, right? So, rewind back to the 2005 revival... He was the last of the Time Lords because of the Time War. They managed to save Gallifrey.
Yeah.
and then it disappeared again. They saved it one more time, and then this all happened over the span of like 10 years. Chris Chibnall comes along and has the Master off screen destroy Gallifrey completely because he didn't like the secret that they kept about the Doctor, which is essentially that the Doctor fell through a rift in the universe, and then the Time Lords experimented on the Doctor, and that's how they got their regenerative powers. So all of Time Lord society is based on the Doctor, which makes him / her the most important character in that universe. When the beauty of the show was never that the Doctor is the most important person in the universe. He was just a Time Lord, an outcast, someone who ran away and just did his best. He wasn't this superpowered, like godlike being that created the Time Lords.
Right, and then they're following up with that. They're trying to fix it again now, aren't they? So they're trying to maintain.
No, he's sticking with it. He's sticking with it. He said he's going to
make it
not
good.
retcon it. I don't know what the word is.
Well, let's see if they can make something good out of it anyway.
Acknowledge it, I guess. It happened, essentially.
Okay. Have you seen Doctor Who, young Harris, or are you too busy at LA Comic? LA Comic Con, isn't it?
LA Comic Con, but I've not seen any Doctor Who ever whatsoever. No.
Actually, yeah, don't bother. It's you.
Oops.
Rubbish.
Well.
Anyway, so we've covered that. Do we want to talk about when they swap? Well, they swap race and things. I think we've covered it, haven't we? We don't mind it, but for me anyway, I don't mind it. I don't care either way. A lot of the time, as long as it doesn't go past the story. I always use the Ghostbusters with boobs example. I did not care that they were doing Ghostbusters with women. The problem was they cared that they were doing Ghostbusters with women, and they told us repeatedly through the film that we're women. Yes, move on. And it became the I think they saw the news reports about how you can't be women, and they just went, fuck you, well, we'll write an entire movie about it then. And it's boring and it's not very good. If that was a good film, though, nobody would have mentioned it. It's not a good film. That's the problem. Bad writing is generally what we...
Yeah.
But anyway, it is a difficult story. It is a difficult thing, and I can understand where people sometimes think it, but at the same time, this is all fiction, and we have to draw a line in it somewhere. Like, look, like me yesterday with Isaac Newton as an Asian fella. I'm not writing to my MP over it. All I did was I sit there and went, why did you do that? And that's as much as really, that's about as upset as you should get about these things. Because it is fiction, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Harris.
Yes.
You're at a Comic-Con.
Yes. With my negative sleep of Comic-Con, I sat down and I was like, oh, it looks like I haven't slept this weekend. Great. But yeah. I have not. It's been a good weekend. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of back to what it was pre-pandemic at this point, which is very nice. Very nice.
It's LA Comic-Con. You jumped on Jenny Stiven, or Jenny Stiven jumped on you. We're not sure which way that went. And when did who are you? It's evil Matt with his glasses.
Is this Mirrorverse Matt? What's going on?
It's the Superman thing. Who the hell is that? But anyway, anything interesting happen? Any news you want to, or anything been announced? Or?
Not really. I don't know if it was any Comic-Con related thing or anything, but yesterday there were a hell of a lot of trailers that announced, and we did a little meme about that. But no, I don't think there's anything really new. I did cosplay for the very first time yesterday. One of my friends is like a big cosplayer on TikTok and stuff, and I don't have a TikTok even, so I don't do anything like that, you know. But he had extra costumes, so I dressed up as Wolverine, and my buddy that's staying with me just dressed up as Ant-Man because we got extra costumes from him. And I haven't taken that many pictures besides like vacations with my mom. It's the most pictures I've ever taken in my life, which was a hell of a lot of fun. But whew, people do that for a living. That's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing like exciting, I guess. I wish there was something exciting, but I'm bringing Jenny Ribs.
Have you got pictures of you in this Wolverine costume? I need to see it.
Yeah,
actually, I probably
should
do.
share it onto the Facebook group, mate.
That's a good idea. I got to get them off of other people's phones. I didn't take a single picture while I was there. I'm kind of angry at myself.
That means you enjoyed yourself.
Exactly. There's kind of me sitting there in a Wolverine suit for a second.
With Captain America.
Yeah, there's Cap. That's my buddy that gave us the costumes for the day.
Yeah, cool.
You look so depressed.
Well, I was in the middle of a drink. I was posing for the picture. We were getting characterized. It was fun.
Yeah, but I mean, Logan isn't exactly a laugh a minute, is he? He's quite a grumpy character. So, well done.
Yeah.
Getting in character.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I feel
like Logan should swear way more than he does.
Yeah.
Well, I got that.
He should be like Butcher from The Boys.
Yeah.
The amount of crap that man's gone through, he would swear more, as much, if not more, than Butcher from The Boys.
Yeah, and he wouldn't give a crap either. So
no. You could outdrink anybody. It'd be dangerous.
I just saw somebody, Jordanators, asked if there's any Stargate rumors. Nothing. I haven't heard anything this week. I haven't heard anything since.
I heard a rumor.
Probably going to be next year.
I heard a rumor that when new Stargate does come out,
yeah,
it's going to be round and it's going to be 9 chevrons on it.
Okay.
And some of them will light up.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't believe it.
Rumor or what we've seen before?
No. That's completely new. Yeah, we've never had that before.
Okay.
It was more egg shaped.
Yeah.
Now we're going.
Yeah, it should be an octagon.
There we go.
Okay, no. Here's another rumor. It's going to be triangle, and instead of chevrons, it's going to be donuts.
Ooh, I like donuts.
Ooh, it could be hexagons, and it's actually proving that we're in a matrix and everything is pixelated.
Yeah. And in the comments, guys, be nice to each other. I'm seeing there's a little bit of an argument going on, but be nice to each other. We respect each other's opinions, even if we're not very. Just be nice. And John Joe, my cousin's name's John Joe. No point, Richard. Just he is.
John or Joe.
No, his name's John Joe.
You can't have both. You can be one or the other. You're John or Joe. Which one are you?
His name is John Joe. And he's British, which is so weird.
It's so fun to say. John Joe.
Hey, John Joe.
It does sound Japanese, doesn't it?
Anyway.
I think it sounds like southern states of America. You expect like.
I'm just imagining.
I swear I could go over to Louisiana and meet a John Joe any day of the week.
I'm so sorry, mate. We're insulting you here, but it does sound like you're married to your cousin. It just does. I'm so sorry. And that's my cousin. I'm insulting him, not you. That's a subscription.
Have you seen that bit by Tom Segura? And he goes to a hotel and he goes, Are you Japanese? And he goes, no. And the other friend, he goes, Segura. And he goes, it's just Segura. You're making it Japanese. I say it again. I could do the same thing with Smith. Smith.
Anyway.
I just thought of that when I said it sounded Japanese.
Tom Segura cracks me up.
Talk about being a bit racist. I said that I'm going to go to the Chinky to go get a Chinese, and my mate had to point out, and I was like, I'm not allowed to say that. No. Why?
No, you're not allowed to say the word for corner shop either. That's not allowed.
I said that
is racist.
I know, but I don't mean it. I didn't realise that, as men and our winkies, we have the little hole where the wee comes out. What's that called?
Eye is it's a Japanese person's eye, which is racist. Yes.
Yep.
I think that word transcends the racist meaning, because now it just means dickhole. It doesn't mean a Japanese person's eye. Like, it doesn't.
Is that the same in the States? Would you call it a Jap eye? No, I've never heard that.
No, like Jap eye, like a.
Yeah, like a.
Popcorn
Oh,
patty.
oh,
You
yeah, I
can
thought
call
you
it
said
a corner
eye.
shop.
Oh,
No,
You can't call it a
that's
corner
the
shop.
urethra
You
is
can't
called
call it.
no, I'm not
can't-
familiar. I'm with you now, though.
But, I've never got. But then I did say that what you're on about the corner shop, Matt, and I just said it because then as soon as I said it, I was like, I've not said that in years. That is so.
It was
not
such a
right.
big thing in the 90s. When I was growing up, everyone said it. And I had a friend from Pakistan. He was like one of my best mates. And he was like, I hate people that fucking say that.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking. And I'm like, why? That's just what everyone calls it. It's like, yeah, but oh no, he wasn't from Pakistan, sorry. He was where was he from? India. I actually can't remember. He wasn't from Pakistan anyway, and people would call it the insert abbreviation for Pakistani shop. And that's why he hated it, because it's just a catch-all for any brown person who owns a corner shop.
It got to the point where it's not even just that. It was just, what sort of shop you're on about. So it's like a deli or something like that, Harris, over there. They're just like, they sell magazines, sweets, cigarettes, thing. And then normally, so we used to call it the corner shop, but then we started calling it the Pakistani shop because it was always run by Indians and stuff in this country, and it's just a thing. But I called it that, but as a kid, I had no racial thing. That's just what everyone called it. And then when it came out of my mouth as an adult by mistake, because I was trying to say, that's the sort of shop we need. I wasn't saying, okay, who runs it? Could be a Oompa Loompa for all I care. And I'm just like, oh, shit. But I was like, oh God, that's not come out of my face for ages. But then I suddenly started saying, and then I said, I'm going to the Chinky over the road, and my mate was just like, you can't fucking say that. I have no one urgent. And I was like, I'm the Chinese, but then it sort of dawned on me, like, oh yeah, that's probably a bit right. But my point is anyway that we have these things from when we're younger. I remember I grew up in the 80s. Remember, so people were a bit more, left wing anyway. But some of these things,
that doesn't make you racist at all.
Stupid.
It makes you it just means in your brain somewhere is the remnants of the generation before us who was racist and made that word up.
And it's just following through.
And it's not necessarily ignorant.
Because as you said, as a child, you said it, and there was no racial behind it.
Yeah.
Unseen.
I think I didn't even realize it meant like a Japanese eye. I genuinely believed it was just called a Jap eye. Because I'd never thought about it, and that's the problem. I'd never thought about it, and then one day I just started thinking, oh, and it just dawned on me. But I can be a bit stupid sometimes. My mum and dad call each other Rick, because Rick's Rick. Probably shouldn't say that out loud. Now everyone knows my name. Anyway, Rick. But my dad.
You literally have your name on Facebook with about 3,000 people in it.
I know. So my little brother calls my dad Baldrick, like Baldrick from Blackadder.
Yeah.
Never occurred to me what he was on about. And for years, and then one day it sort of went, I mean years, I went, oh, because he's bald and he calls each other Rick. And my brother was like, why did you think? Because I don't know. I just never thought about it. You just did it. And it never occurred to me to think. So, yeah, that's the thing. I think, now we need to I think these are points. We need to think about everything. And it's like
accidentally racist before. In my not last job, the job before, I had a mate, right, from Zimbabwe, really, really black, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's inappropriate to say, but like when I you know how you got different shades, like
he was black.
He was black.
Yeah.
He wouldn't mind me saying that because like he's still my mate. But anyway, I was accidentally racist because he was following me around, and I went, I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, insert name, go away, you're my shadow. And then I didn't understand what I'd said, and then they were like, you can't say that. I was like, why not? He's following me around. They were like, shadows are black. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I had a lad who called a black fella Monkey Boy, and we were like, mate, you can't say that. And he was just like, what? He's on his third banana. And we were like, oh, and it was this guy, he had a potassium issue. So he was basically told he had to eat like 4 or 5 bananas a day to try and get his potassium levels up. So he was just eating loads and loads of bananas. So we called him Monkey Boy. And we were like, God, say that, shut up. No, like, look, he's eating another freaking banana. Never even occurred to him that there was any racial thing. He just saw a guy eating bananas and went Monkey Boy. And his friend, my mate, laughed his ass off of that. He thought it was so funny. And because, but then he did say that after he seen the picture, you can't call me that, though, mate. Just like, very funny, but you can't call me that. People will shout at us. But yeah, I think the people that worry most about racism though are white middle-aged women, and I think they worry more about racism than anyone else. I got it's the same with like homophobia, and my mate he's been gay. He's been gay his whole life. Weirdly, he didn't just switch one day, even though he did get laid a lot when he was younger with ladies. But then he came out. But he just said, "Look, I get a lot of people."
He was gay. He took them shopping afterwards.
Well, yeah, there you go. Because he tricked them.
You can say that I'm bi.
Yeah, but he was on about this. I get a lot of abuse from middle-aged men. I get a lot of that's who tends to shout at me. But the people that stress about it the most are middle-aged women. They really worry. No, you can't say this, you can't say that, because one of my pals called him a very unpleasant. No, I'm not saying it. So a very unpleasant way of describing a gay bit. And my gay fellow mate, he thought that was a funny.
Is it the word that is also a food?
Yeah. So he called him that. But we were in a pub and he said it really loudly. You effing. And some woman, and my mate was like, my homosexual friend was like, excuse me, love. The only person here that can get offended at that is me. You do not get offended on my behalf. Thank you very much.
I think that's more of a derogatory term in America. Like, I don't really hear it that much in the UK. Like, it's more like in the UK, it's, oh, you puff.
Batty boy.
Like, I've been called a puff my entire life. It's like, yeah, and what?
Puff.
Everything's derogatory in America.
Yeah.
Puff is literally the piece of furniture that sits in the middle of the room that you put your feet on.
Yeah.
Like, that is a puff, not fucking someone who likes men.
Yeah. Jay needs to stop being such a bundle of sticks. What?
Your cigarettes.
What?
What you call cigarettes?
Yeah, fags. Okay.
Bundle of sticks. Yeah.
Bundle of sticks. Okay.
Oh god, that's like if someone needs to edit this and just have like a sound drop of a penny dropping.
We don't call them sticks. So okay.
We call them fags, cigarettes, cancer sticks.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Popcorn post didn't realize how many calories that is. That's 500 calories in bananas alone. The madman. I think he was very irregular because of it. He didn't. The doctor told him he was actually supposed to take potassium pills, I think, and he just went, "Yes, I eat loads of bananas," but bananas bind you up quite badly, so it didn't go very well. But anyway,
so do eggs, weirdly.
Sorry.
So do eggs, weirdly.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said something totally different.
What did you think I said?
I'll tell you after. I'm not going to say it.
It's all down eggs, weirdly.
I've got a mate who's still to this day is called Umpa, because he was told, Umpa, he was an Umpa Lumpa. He drank so much orange juice it genuinely turned his skin a slightly orange color. He'd been told like that he needs to drink more orange juice by the doctor, so he just went upset, and that's all he drank for like 6 months. He just drank loads. It was ridiculous, and didn't tell anybody else what he was doing. So, but all of a sudden, he went, "My skin orange? and it literally it will turn your skin a slightly orange color. So
it happens to some bloke who ate carrots like non-stop.
Yeah,
you are what you eat, you are what you drink, I guess.
Carrots. It was carrots he was eating. He was eating Sorry, it's carotene, isn't it? That's right. It was carrots. This was 25 years ago, so I think. But 25 years later, we still call him Umpa. We'd never call him by his name. It's always
Donald.
Eh?
Just change it up, and it'll still mean the same thing, but you won't know.
Well, we called him Bugs for a while, and then it changed to Umpa. And then when he's angry, we know we're angry at him because you call him Oompa Loompa. If somebody's angry at him, it's like use his full name. So they when your mom shouts you uses your full name, you're in trouble. So I was trying to piss out of him for that. And I've got a mate whose name is he's the same as me. He's 5'7", but he's the hairiest man alive. When he shaves, he has to shave from there. Right? It's ridiculous. His beard starts just under his eye sockets.
Mine doesn't go any higher than like here.
Yeah. Well, he's the hairiest man alive. He grew out his ear hair and started spiking it with hair gel just to this.
Kill
But
that man with fire.
Yeah. Obviously, we call him Ewok, and I still get Ewok. I get called Ewok quite a lot. And he actually calls me Ewok, to be fair.
You should be Furling.
Yeah, I should be, shouldn't I? Evil. Oh, well, no. I've got my goatee, I'm a Furling, an evil Ewok. But he had this girlfriend years ago, and she had her boobs done. So she got her a topless photo of herself put in one of those lads mags that we used to have like 20 years ago. But she lied about her age. Sorry? Yeah, FHM. Yeah, nuts or something. But she lied about her age and said she was 19. Right? She was like 28 or something. Yeah. She said she was 19. So we all got hold of this, and we were like, and it was his ex by this point, because your ex has got pretty nice boobies. And then somebody just went, 19? You've got a 7-year-old daughter with this girl. So we started calling him P-Wok, paedophile Ewok.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Well, we pinned him down one day and shaved P-Wok into the back of his head. Just because he'd messed something up, so we abused him. But yeah, and he still gets called P-Wok to this day. It's been 20 years. I get rectum. I get called rectum a lot.
Because, I thought you said erectum. I was like, what? That's a whole puzzle piece to unload there.
When I was 16, I worked at McDonald's, and my manager just appeared going, rectum! And we were like going, what the hell is wrong with Paulie? And he goes, and he walks right up to me, rectum! I was like, dude, what's wrong? Because when you put your name into a spell checker, it comes out rectum! He was so happy about it. I come in the next day, my name badge and my clocking card was changed to rectum. That was 30 years ago, nearly. Like 28 years ago, and my one mate in particular, has never called me by my real name since. Not once. I am rectum. That's it. Well, rectum.
So you're saying we need to make you a sidetrack jersey that says rectum on the back instead of your actual name, and then put a Stargate in the middle of the back right under it.
Oh, yes. Well, if I get a tattoo done for when we hit 50k, or if we have hit 50k, it might have to be rectum. It's such an unfortunate nickname to have. But now I'm 45 years old, I don't care. But at the time, I hated it. Really hated it. I think that's why you stuck with it. I really hated it.
It's pretty great.
Science fiction related.
It's quite a unique surname. I've never met a Rickson before.
There aren't any.
My actual surname, I've never met another one of them either.
Yeah. Well, it makes it really nice for me to, when I'm creating like email addresses and things, I don't have to put I could just use my real name. But basically, it comes down to my name was spelled wrong on a census about 100 years ago. So we're literally the only ones. That's
what was it meant to be?
Well, it was Rickson with a N, which there is another family so there are some Ricksons around here. But basically, it comes from that we couldn't spell our name. So, you get the X for what they used to do in the census. You just put an X, and that's where it's come from. But my family were farmers, and there's a thing when you stack hay, and they do it like that sort of thing in a big like looks like a teepee. That's called a ricks. So that's where it comes from. My family were farmers. So that's where it comes from.
And y'all specialize in stacking hay?
We loved a bit of hay. We loved stacking hay, mate, all year round. That's all we did. We stacked hay. We're like, should we grow some more hay?
Somebody's got to do it.
Hey. We're like, should we stack some more hay? I'm going to grow some hay. Why? To stack it. It might have been barley. Actually, it might be when you stack barley. But anyway, I'm not a farmer. So, okay.
Your family started hay stacking competitions, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Y'all started the needle in the haystack saying, just go with it. You got it.
A needle in a massive freaking pile of needles. That's my preferred. I prefer that saying. It's like finding a needle in a massive freaking pile of needles. But yeah,
it would be terrible in like 100 years if instead of the N to the M, your unfortunate nickname turned Wrexham into Rectum.
And then it turned into Rectum. But you do it now, and it doesn't come out like that. So it's just like an old version. It was like Microsoft 3 did it. It's not. We didn't grow potatoes. Apparently, we grew hay. So,
it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. I get Dixon or fixing.
Thick skin. What?
Fixing.
Oh, okay. See, it doesn't do it anymore, but it used to anyway. But like I said, that made that guy the most happy he'd ever been. And think, this is when the store was open. There's a bunch of customers there going, why is that guy screaming Rectum at that little kid? I was only 16.
I used to always love giving people nicknames. There was a girl I used to work with, and her name was Steph. I called her Gwen.
Right. Gwen Stefani? Yeah. Okay.
I still call her Gwen.
There are some great nicknames over the years, aren't there? But it's always... no, I can't say that. That's really rude. But
yeah, they're the best, but the best ones are the ones that you probably shouldn't say live, you know?
Do you have Stena? Do you have a company called Stena Stairlift in America, Harris?
Stannis Airlift?
Stena. They do stair lifts for old people, but the company's called Stena over here. Anyway, I shattered my back, right? So I couldn't walk very well at all. I've never really recovered. I still walk a bit funny now. I walk a little bit like a teddy bear. I keep getting the piss took out me for it, but anyway. So I was in this pub, and there was the toilets were up some stairs, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I walked up the stairs, and I really struggled. And then when I came back down, everyone started calling me Stena, and that stuck for about 6 months. And then it went back to Ewok and Rectum eventually. But I was like Stena Stairlift.
I hurt my back this week. I walked out of the house, slipped, done my back in, so I was off work for a couple of days. My boss, the day before I went back, texted me and went, "How's it going, Backy-chan?"
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know when I broke my foot and I got called Hop Along for ages. Come on, hop along. But that was a bit boring. But
I used to get called Gammy because I've got my leg. It's apparently a thing that's common in girls, but I had it, right? So you know how your legs are normally like that? One of my legs was like that. So I walked funny. I still walk funny. But I was called Gammy for years because of that. I got a Gammy leg.
When Popcorns asked me who I blew my back out, I blew my back out jumping out of an airplane, and I landed on my bottom. And that's when I hurt my back for the first time. I was 19 years old.
From what height? Was it a stationary airplane?
No, I was doing a parachute training. It wasn't like 3 feet. It was like 20,000 feet or something. 12,000 feet.
And all you did was blow your back out. You did pretty well.
Yeah. Ministry of funny walks. No, sometimes because you get these parachutes and you don't really have any control over them. You just sort of like go in. But sometimes you get these up gusts. I just basically hit a breeze and it lifted me up. And then as I was about to land, so it lifted me up and then dropped me down. So my legs went up and I literally landed on my arse. And I always joke that I swear to God, I nearly jumped back onto the plane. I was like, fucking out. But I didn't know I'd broken it for years. And then I hurt my back again years later. And I had an x-ray. And the doctor went, "When did you break your tailbone? Because your tailbone just like that," sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't know. And they said, you'd know when you did it. You'd know. And I was driving home and went, oh.
That time I jumped out of a plane and landed on my ass.
About 15 years later. So I've got my tailbone looks like the scar on Harry Potter's head. But it's when you're 18, though, isn't it, man? You're just like, you do shit like that and you just run it off. And now I get a slight.
I did it when I was in school. I did something to my tailbone, and my back's never been the same since. Like I've never been the sporting type, as you can probably tell. All right, I've never been one to get into sports, but I decided on this one day in school that I was going to get involved when they played football. And actually try. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I like this game. Spoiler, I didn't. But I was at the top near the goal, so I don't know, defense, I guess. I don't really know. But I was there. The ball come towards me, and I decided to do what I can only describe as an anime kick, which is where I jump up and then kick the ball like that in the air. That's not what happened. What happened was I went right on my ass. I did not take part in PE for like 12 months after that.
Oh God, a not so roundhouse.
It was on like a proper like gym floor as well. You know how hard they are in schools.
Ooh, a little rubbery too, so you bounce back up and hit it again on the way back down.
Oh no, this was like hard wood, hard wood. Ooh. Yeah, it's a sports.
I played rugby for years, which for the American in the room, rugby is like American football, but for people that aren't scared shitless of everything. So there's no pads, and you're allowed to beat the crap out of each other. Right. So rugby is actually American football done properly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But for non-cowards. But
I'm with you.
My problem is I loved rugby. I play rugby, watch football. That's always I don't particularly like playing football, but I can't be asked to watch rugby, but I love playing rugby and everything. And I got so I played a lot when I was younger, but I was quick, so I could run 100 meters in like 12 seconds. I was rapid, but I'm 5'7", union. So I'm 5'7". So then when I was 30, I decided I'm going to play rugby again. And this guy that I used to play with, he's like, oh, we're a man down. We really need, we need somebody to come and play. So I was like, okay. When I was 19, 20, 21, I could outrun the 6'3" guys. And I was really good at the turn and stuff. Unfortunately, what I realized was I'd slowed down a bit. So all of a sudden, the 6'3", 19-year-old guys not only could catch me, they could also rip me in half. So I played 3 games. I had 3 concussions. And the manager went, what we're going to do, can you run down the middle? And I'm like, no, they're going to take my head off. And he goes, yeah, we need a penalty. Can you run down the middle? I'm like, I got carried off 3 games. I got carried off twice. It was not good. I got absolutely bad. So that was when I realized I'm getting old. That was my realization that I'm starting to get old. But oh well. And then on my 30th birthday, I went to the opticians and they gave me glasses. I'm like, this is not a way to celebrate my 30th birthday. It was such a physical transition from 20s to 30s. You know, it's just like I went from 20s. I'm young. I can go out and get drunk, and I won't be poorly all day tomorrow and probably the next day. And then literally the next day, if I get drunk now, I will be sick for 3 days. Nightmare.
I haven't reached that point yet. I'm 31. I've not reached a point where I can't drink a lot.
Yeah.
I'm usually touch wood fine afterwards.
And I was a master at it as well. Boom.
We'll find out next Friday. I'm going out after work. Jim, are you coming next week, by the way, on Friday? Sorry to just start talking work.
No, I don't work with you.
Jim, not you. Jim.
So are you talking to somebody in the audience? Jim, are you going next Friday, mate? Let us know. We need to know. All right, guys. Look, we've been over an hour. I know Harris wants to go get some dinner.
I'm good. I still have an hour left on these ribs. We can take our time if need be.
Okay. Well, okay. I want to go get my dinner, but
Oh,
I did want to ask you guys: are you watching Monarch?
Yeah, I'm one episode behind right now, but yes.
No, not watching it. How are you enjoying it?
I didn't love the first episode. I liked everything they did with it. I just think they could have done the entire episode in about 20 minutes. I do like the detail they're doing in the background of it, but it's still not necessary. And Melvin and I were talking about it with Afterthoughts a couple weeks, or I guess 2 weeks ago. Just as someone who acts and stuff, like every scene, the entire first episode felt stagnant. All the actors are just sitting in rooms. They're not actually moving. There's not like one of them like, oh, well, let me go grab something in the kitchen. Let me fix you a plate of something, like they do that and then they sit down. And that's kind of the whole episode. So I didn't like that. But the second episode hit its stride a little bit. And I did like the episode.
Is it Legacy of Monsters?
Yeah.
Okay. Jim told me about this the other day. And he said,
have
you watched it? And I said, no, but I think Harris has. So Jim would be happy to know you've
give it a couple of weeks and then get Apple just for a month and binge it.
I've got Showbox. No,
BTV. Watch it then. It is good. It's not as good as maybe. It's very, very expensive. I would say it's nearly cinema quality. It's good.
Oh yeah.
But it's
very well shot, made.
Yeah, and Kurt Russell's great. And as soon as Kurt Russell turned up, basically it got better.
Precisely.
Jack O'Neill's in it.
Yeah, Jack O'Neill's in it. 1L.
I did just see Godzilla -1 this past week though, and that was excellent. I was kind of worried in the first act because you realize very quickly it's not going to be a story about Godzilla. It's a human story, and this is kind of like the age-old we don't want a human story in a Godzilla movie. We want a freaking monster movie. This works perfectly. And they use it's not like Jaws where you don't ever see Godzilla, because when you see Godzilla, you see Godzilla. But he's used sparingly, which is kind of nice.
The way it should be in a monster movie.
Yeah, and for that movie to be made for $15 million or $13 million, and every episode of Monarch is $15 million is I might have that backwards, but it's insane.
It is over. I know it's over $10 million an episode. I think there's been some different numbers thrown out there. That Apple have spent this much, Apple have spent this much. But
Harris, you're taking the opportunity to kiss ass, apparently.
I was gonna say, shh, Laura, don't tell anybody.
Don't blame. Oh, wrong one. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hey, Jenny Stiven needs some ribs. I'm gonna make her some ribs.
And then get her back on the show. Get her back on the next videos in the next couple of weeks. I'll ask her back on soon.
Jim's asking going where? We're going to the pub, Jim. We're all going to the pub.
Which pub? So then everybody that is in your region can come meet you.
Yeah, be specific.
Sidetrack meetup next Friday.
I ain't saying which pub. I don't want randos coming to say hello to me. I'm very socially awkward.
I've still never been recognised in public. I still can't believe I've never been recognised in public.
I've had it once or twice, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, we should do a pub live stream.
Yeah, I was laughing.
Yeah, we should do that. Well, hopefully next year, at least me and you, Harrison, Stormy, will get together. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's less fingers crossed. But me and Matt will be together in May, and we will be.
May
we will be. Is it May? It's May, isn't it? And
we may be together.
Brad Wright is mine. We're sleeping together. Right?
Aww.
Oh, yes. I'm too stingy that I didn't go for 2 hotel rooms. I got 1 hotel room. So we're sleeping.
Did you at least get 2 beds?
No, got a double bed. Yeah, yes, I got a twin room. Yes.
I was gonna say, y'all putting a pillow in the middle, or y'all going feet to head either side?
Yeah.
I'm a lot bigger than Jay. I will take up most of that bed.
No, we got a twin room, sir. But I didn't know if you were coming, but I wanted to get a room because there's only like 2 left. So I've got to book a room. So, but I didn't know if you were coming or not at that point. So, but anyway, I am on this like Brad Wright is mine. That boy is not getting out of that hotel room without shaking my hand. I will hunt him down. So fingers crossed.
Do you think he'll recognize us? Or do you think he'll be like, "Oh look, it's them two"?
I'm going to wear a sidetrack t-shirt, so I hope so. But I am going to ask him if we could try to get together. Just say hello. I don't want to drink with him or anything. I just want to shake his hand and say hello. Fingers crossed we can anyway. But I'm certain it'll be busy. And then we are going to shake hands with Richard Dean Anderson and Joe Flanagan because we're paying them to do it. So they haven't got a choice. Because I've given you 50.
Does that you've paid for that? Does that mean I'm going with you?
Yeah. We can go together.
Yeah, we did a photo of 4 people with Starlight and Kimiko from The Boys yesterday, which was fun.
Cool. Yeah, you're just paying for a picture. So yeah. We can both go. And then
Harris, you need to book a plane ticket.
Yeah, get over here, sir. You can stay at my house.
I can't in May. I will be on y'all's side of the pond though, but I'll be in Africa. So
that's not
our side.
Well, that's our side, and then a massive diversion.
Hemisphere-ish.
You're on this side of the pond. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, something like that. One of those ponds.
He's on a side of the pond.
Something like that.
Not sure which one.
Sectors of the pond.
There's a pond. There's another pond. Yeah, fine. But that'd be cool. What are you going to Africa for?
My dad won a safari, so we're going safari, and I'm excited.
How'd you win a safari?
He's like a lifetime member of like a magazine thingy, and they give one person a year like a fancy little thing, and he's a lucky man. Both my parents win raffles like nobody's business. If you need somebody to win raffles, bring them. My mom won a car, a bike, and a purse in a raffle in one night before.
Jesus Christ!
And my dad and I won
a lottery ticket last night, and I don't know if I've
should
won.
have got him to get you. Peter has just come up with exactly what I was thinking because you are from Texas. Don't kill anything.
I said a safari. It's a picture safari.
It better be. No, not lock and load. We're going on safari, boys.
Different shooting. I got my camera in the other room.
Yeah, when they go, oh, there's a line over there, shoot, they mean a picture. Bloody Texans. Get out. Where'd you get the gun from? I've always got a gun.
Well, I do have that, but I'm not going there with that.
No,
what was that?
He didn't win.
Ah, damn.
I did not win the lottery.
Somebody asked me like last week, if you won the lottery, would you keep doing sidetrack? And I'm like, I don't do it for the freaking money. I'd do it more. If I could.
Legit.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll call it a lovely evening. You, Harris, go and tell us if you get any videos at LA Comic Con. Let us know. That'd be good.
I got a few. I just got to get them sent to me, and I got you.
Well, if you do, get them on them thingy and share them on the community page. And before we go, actually, let's have one more quick thing. I put a comment. I was doing a video yesterday, with Mac, and it might have been Popcorn Power. I can't remember who did it now, who suggested it, but they said basically put a question on the channel. When Amazon do Stargate, will Amazon ruin it? Will Amazon able to do a good Stargate show? Basically, just very simple, yes and no, right?
Oh, I saw that 609 votes.
Yeah, 609 votes. It's a slightly stupid question. I'll give that because I mean we don't know for certain lots of things, but just from what Amazon and MGM have been doing in the last couple of years, how confident are you is really the question.
Yeah.
What would you guys answer first before I tell you the results?
Not that confident, honestly, which is not good. Think about it.
I don't know. I think they're probably doing an all right job because it's not Amazon that's going to be making it. It's going to be whoever they hire to make the thing.
Yeah.
So as long as they get the right people to make the thing, I'm fairly confident, especially if it's going to be the people that we've heard about.
Yeah, which we hope so. Yeah, it's a that's Popcorn Power. Exactly. It's a public confidence check, which I think is fine. Somebody did say it was a stupid question. I did have to sort of say, no, come on. This is about. It's just your opinion. It's not. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's opinion. But anyway, 59% of 609 votes have said yes. Amazon will produce good Stargate. So there is a confidence there. 41% said no. I didn't put maybe. I thought that was confusing. So what do you guys think of those numbers?
Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
Well,
yes,
I'm trying to think of.
You don't care. Leave me alone. Well, stop asking stupid questions.
I'm trying to think of it like in the sense of what Amazon, the shows Amazon has on Prime already and have made. And it's not that I don't like any of them, because I do like the vast majority of them. The only ones that I don't think that I've like thoroughly enjoyed would be like Rings of Power, because I part of that's the expectations are so high though.
That's always a problem when you expect
one way or another though it didn't deliver. So I don't know, because everything they do tends to be a little more niche. So it's not like it's looking for larger audiences. And Stargate needs, if it's going to be that thing for them, they need a larger audience, obviously. It's up to who's right and who's hiring, honestly. And they haven't been great at that in the past either. So it doesn't like raise. I would say that 51-40 is 49. Was that? No, yeah. Math.
59-41.
There we go. I would say that's probably my confidence level and not confidence level right there, like picturized, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We'll find out in 2034. I'm
really hoping something comes out in like we get something in like January, February time.
If it's going to be a TV series, we should know in January. Because that's when MGM put out their development list. So
yeah.
January, early February.
I've decided every time you say by this date, I'm just going to ignore it.
Oh, I would.
It doesn't happen.
I always put in.
I don't want to keep getting my hopes up.
If
this
has been suggested, maybe.
Well, I was doing the TikToks, and I every time we had a date that you said, I would go on TikTok, make the prediction, or just say the same thing.
The last time you did that was not based on me. You went off on your own with that one. I suggested a possibility, and you basically went, "It's happening." And I went, "Whoa, that's not what I said."
Wait, which one?
Was it the last one on Stargate Day, when it was the anniversary of the movie? And I hadn't heard that from anyone. I just said that might make sense, and you went, "It's happening." I was like, "Oh Jesus, bud!" You ran with that.
That didn't get any views though. That didn't get any views, but some of them did get views, like quite a lot. And then like the day would come, and the next day, and so the people would comment back on that video going, "This didn't happen, did it?" And I'm like, "No, it fucking didn't."
I think we realized after, very early on in Amazon's tenure, that we were hearing rumors, and they were just that this isn't happening. But there are reasons why it hasn't happened. I think the only one we ever had that was firm, that we were actually really confident on, was San Diego Comic-Con, and but that's been repeated by, and that's it. I think that's the only time I've said this is really nailed on. This is happening. Other than that, it's always been somebody's opinion is, or San Diego Comic-Con was the only time we were really confident, and the strike screwed it. So, but that's been repeated by loads of people since, saying they were going to do it at San Diego Comic-Con. It was happening. They'd booked the people, sort of thing. It's gone as far as they were planning it, and then in March, early April, they decided to pull out. But other than that, it's been the rumor or opinion or whatever, and it's not happened yet, and now it's not going to happen, I don't think, till next summer.
Hey, well, maybe we'll be there.
Yeah, well, unless MGM get the series they're begging for, and apparently there's been a verbal promise that they will be getting a series, but we don't know when. They might say you can have a series after the movie. You're not having it till then though. So in which case it'll be 2025 January development list if we're getting a movie first. So we'll see. We'll find out.
Wrong one. Yeah, because they were gonna do a movie, then follow it up with a TV show originally.
That was the plan.
So
So
if they do
they'll
the movie
announce the
first.
movie first. Yeah. And then about 6 months after that, they'll announce the series. And yeah. So in which case I think it'll be San Diego Comic-Con next year. We get an announcement. But
At least
with all this studio nonsense going on.
If it does happen at San Diego Comic-Con next year, I'm going back on TikTok. I'm stitching my video where I said it's coming at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'll go, I was right. I was just a year late. A year early, sorry.
I just got the year wrong, man. I was so close. I was like this close.
My crystal ball wasn't as clear.
One number out. You can't blame me for that, man.
David just brought up a really good point in the chat. He said the movie will be out just in time for the next strike, which is in 3 years.
That's about right, actually.
What if they make a movie, then immediately have to pause for another year, and then it screws everything up again?
No, it'll come out about then. If they announce it next year, it'll take 2 years, basically.
That will just be another thing that stops Stargate, because everything seems to stop Stargate. Everything.
Well, I mean, they haven't announced RoboCop. We've got no news on Legally Blonde 3, the thing that we really want to watch. But MGM haven't actually announced anything, any new big projects. MGM have announced a couple of TV
until they actually start filming is when I'll get excited, because they've already announced things in the past and then nothing's happened with it.
Dude,
so
Batgirl. They can film it and still not get released. Ask her who's going to drop it. Like, go do that. Looney Tunes movie.
Until we get the trailer, I'm not going to get excited.
I'm going to be sat in the cinema with the trailers running, thinking this might not happen. I'm going to be in the cinema until the film.
You'll be in the cinema and the cinema will close. It'll lose power or something. We're shutting down. Yeah. All films are off.
MGM has decided you can't watch this. But all of us, no, just you. Oh, bloody hell. They just won't let me watch it. Probably not, if they're not sure it's going to be very good. But yeah, the world, it's crazy, isn't it? Right, I'm going to go eat. So, thanks, guys. Been lovely again. Let us know how. Get us a picture of you and Jen. Harris.
Well, I will. Yeah, I'm wearing sidetrack stuff today, so we're going to get some good pictures.
Oh, yes, definitely get a couple of pictures in, sir. Thank you.
Get us a nice little video message.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
We'll put
it on. Good idea.
I'll talk to you off screen. All right. Cool. I just had an idea. I just had a thought. I'll message her and ask her. All right, then, guys. Have a good one. Everybody, we'll see you next week. Next week, we've got a couple of people from the companion on. I think we're doing a Saturday with Rebecca, and then Sunday, we've got one of the producers on. Who's the Man United fan, who nobody will know his face, but I just like the guy. He's funny. Yeah, he's coming on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I just like him. He's a fun guy. So, and I've been bugging him for weeks, and he's finally agreed to come on. So, so yeah, we're having a bit of a companion week next week, mainly because they want to advertise what they're doing for Christmas, but we will make them talk to us as well at the same time. So, but now they're amazing, lovely people, and they're massive Stargate fans, so it'll be a Stargate-esque weekend next weekend.
Good people,
obviously.
Damn right.
Oh my god, we need to get Tommy on in February, on the 14th specifically.
On Valentine's Day.
What's his surname?
Valentine. Yeah, okay, and it is Valentine's Day.
Will you be my Valentine, Tommy Valentine?
We'll get him to do a video for us. Right, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend for whatever's left. And yeah, say bye, everybody.
Adios, y'all.
Ciao, muchacho.